to another tutorial on Spring Batch. If you're looking for a use case where you want to have a replay from within the middle of a chunk in Spring Batch, then there are some options that you can use. Although this is not offered out of the box, by default, Spring Batch will retry your entire chunk of whatever size it is. So if you have a chunk of size 1000, then your control fails on line number 999. Still you will have entire chunk of 1000 getting replayed. This is not what you ideally want in a production application. You want some custom control and replay from exact point where the failure had occurred. So we're going to demonstrate this using some custom engineering logic, and we're going to use Redis for that. First of all, just get a hang of few terms here. One is commit size, and second is the failure line number. So what I'm going to do here is I have a writer which is going to write to, let's say, Kafka, but here I'm just logging it. To simulate network failure, I'm going to intentionally configure a line number here and simulate the failure. So to run this application, when it runs, I will have the batch failing at line number 759, and the batch size is going to be 1000. So I have a 1000 line file here. Let me just pull it for you. Yeah. So as you can see, this is a 1000 line file, and my chunk size is also 1000. So I expect it to get processed in one chunk. And in that single chunk at line 759, I will have a failure. So I'm going to demonstrate that using this code here. You can just have a look at the code. It's very simple. It's simply an if condition. I'm deliberately throwing an exception here. So let's run this. To run this application, you need to have Spring Batch related dependencies like a database up and running. I'm using Docker here. So I have MySQL running locally on the Docker container, and the second container is Redis. So I have both of these containers up and running, after which I'm going to start my application here. So let it load. Yeah, it's going to load now, and just have a look at the log. Just keep looking. Yeah, this is what we expected. We expected the job to fail at line number 759. So can you see here, I'm also printing the line numbers. Yeah, 758 was published to Kafka, but 759, we are just simulating Kafka is down. So this is where your batch is failing midway. We have configured this line number here, so it's failing at that line itself. Now, when you want this application to run next time, when this job runs next time, you want to start from line 759 itself and not from line number 1. But Spring Batch will actually start it from line number 1. If you're aware of the theory, it will retry the entire chunk. So this is the problem statement that we are trying to solve. So you have to maintain the state somewhere, right? So it could be in the memory of the application. That's not a good idea. You can put it in some database, but that will slow things down. So you need some sort of middleware, which is you'll get the performance as well as the persistence. That is where Redis comes into picture. I have got Redis running locally. So as you can see, I have a key here, and in that I'm putting my latest offset where the batch failed. I'm actually committing in some chunk size. That chunk size is 50. So when this batch run, I'll have one commit at 50, then 100, 150, 200, 250 likewise. When it reaches 700, the last committed offset was 700, then we'll have 750. And once 750 onwards the processing starts, the next 8 records are going to be processed, and 9th one fails. So our latest offset in the Redis is 750. So next time when you start your application, you will start it from 750. You can have this chunk size as 1 as well. The commit size, I'm sorry. The commit size can be 1. It actually has to be tuned as per your system's potential of data loss. If you keep this commit size is too small, then you'll have some performance hits. If you keep it too big, then you may have duplicate data. So you have to tune it as per your requirements. I'm going with 50 right now. You can play around with it and see if you can get some better performance. That is how many times the network call is going to happen. So now let's rerun this application, but before that I want to simulate failure as false. So this time I'm assuming that the Kafka is up and there is no intermittent lag on the network. So our application is good to go, our batch is good to start, and I expect it to start from line 759 onwards, and it should completely process up to 1000 records. So let's restart this application. The batch is going to rerun. Keep an eye on the first log line that you see. Yeah, can you just scroll up? Can you see it started from line 750? That is where the last commit chunk size was here, and now if you see it's 1000, that means the file has been processed completely. So you can plug in this logic in your Spring Batch application, so that you can commit once in a while. So as you can see, it committed at 750, then it committed at 800, then it'll go down to 850, another commit happened, and likewise at 900 you'll have it. So your potential for data loss is narrowing down. You don't have to retry the entire chunk. You have the latest offset being committed to Redis once in a while. Now you can commit this offset as per, like I mentioned, the commit size, or you can commit once every 10 seconds or once every 1 minute, etc. That decision is yours to take. But this is just an overview of how you can override custom logic given by Spring Batch, and it is much more efficient in my opinion, rather than restarting rerunning the entire chunk, which is actually duplicacy of successful chunk members. So this is how you can do it. Have a look at the code. This is on GitHub, and hope you like this video. Thank you.